What's going on, good people? Rich here,
School in the building.
It's your girl Ray P, y'all. What's going on?
back at you again with another episode of the Culture Garden Podcast. We appreciate y'all joining us again this week. Shout out to everybody last week for the holiday. We did have a week off, which was cool, man. It was good to take that little week and refresh and just relax and not have to really worry about anything. So hopefully everybody had a good time with their loved ones and their family, or even if you spend it by yourself, doing that, whatever it was. You got that rest and relaxation. But happy to have you back, man. As always, please remember to subscribe, to share. We got something real cool today, which was the Spotify Wraps are going on. So somebody posted us in one where we were like third of their listeners, which is wild when you think about it. Like,
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I don't even know what to say about it. And I'm usually have a word for anything, but
it's very humbling.
Very humble. And it was K-Rob actually. So I want to give her a shout out, give her some acknowledgement for actually acknowledging us.
Thanks, K-Rob.
Hey, Rob.
Without question. So it's fun to just see this thing grow, and we just do what we love, and we happy that everybody out there is just kind of here with us and giving us their feedback, the commentary, the whole nine. So thank y'all for that. Today we have a new episode, Just Wright. Just Wright. We're gonna get into it here. Ray, this was your episode. And what I say that is we usually go in like a rotation of picking movies. We probably do Rachel one, school one, me one, then maybe collaborate on one, and then just start the cycle back over. So this one, Ray was like, let's do Just Right. You had another movie pick, but then you decided on this one. So I know this is school's first time seeing it, and I'm not that familiar with the film. I had it on bootleg back in the day. But you picking this movie, just give us a rundown. Why? What made you want to break down Just Right?
Okay, well, first off, I fucking love this movie to this day, and even rewatching it for the show just reminded me. So, I have been scrolling Prime looking for something random to watch, and then I saw that Just Right was on there. I was like, "Oh, and for the free, big bet." So I was like, "Fucking, let's do Just Right," because if y'all couldn't tell, I am a rom-com girl. And it's for the culture. It's fucking Queen Latifah, queen of the rom-com. So I felt like let's get it. It's cute. It's a little dramatic. It has the typical cliches, but it is a good, fun, mostly lighthearted movie. And I love that for us.
Very much so lighthearted. Listen, there aren't too many better genres than rom-com.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you that right now. Like I'm right with you, Ray. I'm a rom-com dude. I've always said one of my favorite guilty pleasures is How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Like I'll watch that movie daily, weekly, whatever. Like give me a good rom-com and we set. School, I know that this is your first time watching this. And I want to just hear your thoughts because I did not talk to you about like, yo, what you think?
Wow. Hey, Ray.
You hated it.
I don't know, man. It was tricky for me. It was first off, it was PG. I didn't realize that until I really start watching it, and then I was like, yeah, this is very PG. Has a lot of corny moments in it to me. Common as the lead man didn't do it. I don't know.
It was his first movie. It was his first gig.
Listen.
Was this his first one? I think, this is definitely his first leading role. He might have been some small stuff or something else.
Then for that, you know what? Good job, man.
Then it's Grace, right?
Yes, absolutely. He gets some grace.
And maybe he was on The Breakfast Club and maybe doing promo. Maybe it was after, and he was like, you know what? It's probably my least favorite thing that I've done because it was his first role, and he was the least comfortable on screen. And then, like, he said that he really leaned on Queen Latifah for support because
cool body.
It was his first go round.
Yeah. Queen Latifah did her thing. I mean, what else is new? But my goodness, she was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense because school even hits me sometimes and be like, yo, I listen to like our first episode or one of our first early episodes of the pod, and he'd be like, "Yo, like it's kind of rough to listen to it compared to where we are now." So I understand that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, when I was talking to school about it before he had watched it, I told him like I was trying to describe it. I was trying to find a way to describe this film because it's not a bad film at all. Um, and then what I landed on is it kind of goes on what school just said. It's a PG movie, and I don't know who this target audience is since it's PG. And
Yeah.
the reason I say that is
Yeah.
this. So most movies, most PG sports movies at that have a
Mhm.
kid in it.
Mhm.
You know, like
Mhm.
Mike, the game plan with the Rock and that little girl, like
Mhm.
films like that, or even regular PG movies. Like it felt like, ironically, the three of us were just talking about It Takes Two and Parent Trap. It
Mhm.
felt like the adult scenes in those movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
throughout the whole film. Like
Mhm.
it was a Disney. It feels like a Disney Channel movie, not like a
Mhm.
Disney movie.
Not like a flavor unit movie.
Right.
Yeah, like it. So I think that kind of confused me a little bit because who was a lot of the messages in this film were geared towards like kids in my sense, like just being a good person, and I don't know. I think this movie should have been PG-13. Like I don't know, maybe I got lost in that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I realized it was PG literally until you said that as many times as I've seen it, but it is very I don't want to say non-sexual or childish, but um
Lighthearted, like I think you
it's
said
very
Yeah.
lighthearted.
light.
I
And
would
I think
say
that they could have spiced it up.
yes.
Yeah,
The perfect example is what you said, lighthearted. Like
Mhm.
the scene where the very first scene where they're establishing that Queen Latifah was just a good friend. Guys see her as a good friend, and she
Mhm.
was basically finishing every word for that dude on her first date, and that was a very PG moment. Like
yeah.
PG-13, maybe rated R. She'd have been like, "Nigga, what? Fuck you." You know what I mean?
Well, Imma disagree for the sole fact that I think that it wasn't that she was agreeing with him to be agreeable, quote unquote, but she was saying how repetitive what you're
Yeah,
saying is.
that's
I've been friend zoned 50, 11 times. Like I already know the script.
right.
And it really sort of reminded me of the date scene in Daddy's Little Girls with Gabrielle Union. Um,
With my man with the afro. Why can't I think of his name right
no,
now?
not with
Immediately.
Chris Robinson,
No,
not
okay.
that one. It was the scene where she was out with the married man, where this
Oh
all this
yeah, and the kids pulled up in
chemistry
the
and the
van.
kids pulled up, "You went to
Ah,
my daddy trip."
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
it
yeah,
it
definitely.
reminded me of that with all of this chemistry, and then for whatever reason, it has to fall flat. At school, you married, so it's been a while since you've been out on the scene.
yeah, it's a fact.
But but I can tell you that it's moments when you're out with these people, and maybe it might not be friend zone, it might not be a wife, but it's some shit that will have you like, man, what the fuck? This
Have
was
you
so
looking at the
good.
end like what just happened? Like yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
and I feel
And
like my fault,
yeah,
Rachel.
you
What you gonna
did.
say? I was gonna say I feel like every rom com has that kind of scene and that intro,
Mhm.
just introducing what this character's love life is like. Like this is
Right.
what they're going through. So, like I said, my biggest thing was just I was trying to figure out like why didn't they make this PG-13 or why didn't they
Yeah.
have a kid in here to kind of mix it up since it's PG? Because I don't know too many adults, and like you said, Rachel, I guess that's a testament to the film that not too many you didn't know it was PG this whole time.
Yeah,
So,
I really
Right.
didn't. I knew
um,
it wasn't rated R because it wasn't no nudity or
Right.
right or heavy sex, like there was
extreme
yeah
right,
indication that there was
Hmm.
some romantic
activity.
behavior.
Right. Right.
Let's pause real quick and get into some stats, and
Yeah,
then we'll start rolling into some more things. So this was released May 14th, 2010. Ray, did you see this in theaters?
I
I'm just
did.
curious. You
I
did?
remember the first time I saw this movie.
You do?
I do, I cried in the theater.
You cried?
Right. Oh wow.
I was going through a breakup.
I was about to say you
Okay.
was going through something.
I was going through some
Yeah.
things. I mean, my best friend went to the movie. She was trying to cheer me up because I love Queen Latifah down. Yes, I remember seeing this in the theaters and just like silently boo-hooing
Mhm.
those silent glory tears.
The ones that you didn't know, the ones you didn't know was
Hey,
coming, like you had no idea he was gonna leave the movies and
That's
just
how
kind
it
of
started.
silent
yeah.
glory tears.
May 2010, huh?
And to ooh, yep. Ask
I don't
my
know
Mr.
Rachel for a
Things.
long time, y'all. I'm trying to do the timeline, but it's cool.
Hey,
Um, it was it was directed by Sanaa Hamri. If I'm saying her last name, Hamri.
okay.
She also was the director of Something New.
Yes.
It was written by Michael Elliott,
Hey,
and he
funny, I
wrote.
brought that movie up when we was talking.
Yeah. School did bring up Something New when we were just randomly talking. It was written by Michael Elliott, and he also wrote Brown Sugar, like Mike, which is kind of right in the same vein of this film. It was from the
Yeah.
sports aspect,
Wow. Look at the
and
two come together.
he wrote Carmen the Hip Opera.
Shout out to Lil Sis. That's her shit.
Baby, what? The
Yeah,
cards have a lie.
That's her
Come
shit
on, don't play with
too.
me.
yeah,
Don't
man. Listen,
play.
I ain't go front. Michael Elliott, like them three decent
Heavy
ones. I ain't gonna
hitters.
hold
Might
you.
have.
Heavy hitters.
I gotta get you this. Plus, Just Right. All right, I got you. I don't know what the budget was. I couldn't find
12
anything on
million.
it. What's that?
12 million.
$12
Well,
million budget?
Mhm.
Nice.
okay.
Shout out to you, Ray. It made 21.5 million.
Period.
So definitely got his money back. Something interesting I want to start doing, which I just think this is like a little nerd stat that I like adding up, is it was in theaters for 47 days. I just like
Mm,
keeping track of how long movies are in theaters.
I like that
That's just shy of 7 weeks.
because that's
Which
important. That's really
yeah,
important.
it says a lot
Yeah.
because if you ain't Five Heartbeats was in the theater for like 10 days.
Yeah.
You know what
Avatar
I mean?
theaters for 6 months.
Yeah, like they just brought Top Gun Maverick back to theaters.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? So I've always found that kind of stuff interesting because some movies are made for the theaters and some just do success or slow burns.
Mhm.
And right now it is currently streaming on Amazon Prime and your favorite streaming app, Tubi. So you can check them out both there. So I know we got into a little bit of the earlier conversation about the film and our experience with it. So now, Rachel, classic or not?
No,
Okay,
but it's very, very good to
that's
me.
fair. Everything can't be a classic.
Everything can be a classic. It's not a classic. It's not even a top. I'm not gonna give it top three. Top. It's not a top 10 Queen Latifah movie.
That's fair. I know you know what School's favorite Queen Latifah movie is.
Set it off.
Nah, just guess. What would your guess be if you had just one guess outside of Set It Off?
Outside of Set It Off. Last Holiday.
Nope. School, you want to tell her?
Taxi.
Okay.
This nigga love
And
Taxi.
that's not surprising. That's not surprising.
He
That's
loved
not
Taxi more than
surprising.
Queen Latifah and Jimmy Fallon.
That's crazy. That's
Uh,
crazy.
as far as awards go, I'm sorry. Let me get into awards and I'll ask you, School, classic or not. Awards. They did win the 2011 NAACP Image Award. Michael Elliott, the writer, he got it for most outstanding writing in a motion picture. So once again, give him some more of his flowers. School, classic or not?
Nah.
Simple. I gotta go with nah. I mean, it's just not. It's a good fun movie, but it's not a classic.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That's something I could put on if I was watching my niece, if I was watching Emery, and I didn't feel like watching the cartoon, but didn't want to put on something that was too adult. That'd be the perfect movie I'd slide on.
I'm with it.
She wouldn't care enough to watch.
I was just about to say, would she sit and watch it?
No. She's not into I tried to get her to watch. I tried to get her to watch Jungle to Jungle. If you remember that with Tim Allen, like I'm not a from back in the day, and there's another movie, Man of the House, some Disney movies.
Oh, I love Man of the House.
Yeah, some live action Disney movies. She just wasn't with it. I don't think she's at that point yet. We talked about the cast a little bit. Queen Latifah as Leslie Wright, Dana Elaine Owens. What more can we say? Like straight up. I mean, you love her character from jump.
Yeah.
And she's just a feel-good person. She's got good I hate the phrase. I don't want to say I hate the phrase, but it's a little bit overused now. She's got good energy, but she really does have good energy.
Oh my God, am I Leslie Wright?
You know what? Because she brings like every time she was on screen, like I smiled. I
Yeah.
smiled. Like I literally like I felt like my mood was better because
Yeah.
and she didn't have any like yeah, even the small she had all those good qualities, even small stuff like getting invited to Scott's birthday party and actually bringing him a birthday card. Like
Yeah.
those small thoughtful
Yeah.
things,
Look at
those
me.
are what separate the natural
Thoughtful.
conversation they had at the gas station.
Mhm.
Just how natural and free it felt. Her walking into
Yeah.
work, like everything, her relationship with her pops, like everything just felt right. Like you just no pun intended. Um, it was I loved her character. Like it's one of my favorite Queen Latifah characters, like for sure.
I think saying no pun is crazy because I mean her name is Just Right. Her Leslie Wright. Like it's in the name. She's
Right.
Right.
she's right. So everything that you're saying is on point.
Yeah, absolutely. Common and Scott McKnight, Lonnie Lynn, School, we talked about it. This is his first film.
Mhm.
Yeah, you gotta give him some grace. You gotta give him some grace. You can tell I say early on in the film, like that interview he did right after that first game,
Mhm.
compared to like where he was towards the end of the film, like you can see the growth.
Yeah.
And you got to take this movie for what it is. Like if you dig too deep into it, then you're missing the whole point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Paula Patton is Morgan Alexander. Nah,
Well, she can't act to me.
she,
So not
she's
surprising.
not good in this. She's
She's
not good
not.
in this.
She's not.
And
Yeah.
I was wondering what I want to ask you too. I don't know if it's the character. Like we're naturally not supposed to like her character and see all the
Mhm.
bad flaws in her.
Right.
But
Mhm.
is it that or is it just she's not a good? She didn't perform well.
She didn't perform well. I don't believe. Mm-mm. I don't think you're not supposed to like her.
Right.
It's something. She's supposed to have some charm to her, and she
She
just doesn't have that. Like she's supposed to have something that makes you understand why he goes back to her or why he likes her. But there's nothing about her. I'm like, why he just ain't go with Leslie?
What do you mean? She's stereotypically beautiful.
nah, that's not.
Yes, it is.
No, that's you're right, Rachel. That's the reason. You're absolutely right. But school, like you were like, there's nothing about her that would have made me want to go back. Like that beauty, and that's me as a 35-year-old man, not a 30-year-old NBA multimillionaire.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
So
Mhm.
I guess that's the difference as well.
I think the interesting thing is Paula Patton was on a run. Uh,
Yeah.
she was getting everything and acting
Mm-hmm.
horribly in all of it.
And breaking
But
Robin Thicke's heart too. Shit.
what'd you say?
And breaking Robin Thicke's heart along the way too.
Well, he was a serial cheater. So somebody was doing a heartbreaking. She just didn't take his ass back. But from like 2006 to 20, I wrote it down like 2014. She was in a movie, at least one every year.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, she did have a run. Paula Patton had her time.
She had a run.
Absolutely.
I would say, let me ask you this. You know who I would have? This is going to be a two-part question with the same person.
Okay.
I know what
You know who somebody that's hit or miss with me that I think would have done much better in this film?
I know what you're gonna say.
Who?
I got a feeling.
Who?
Eva Mendes.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Joy Bryant.
Hmm.
I think her character could have played that because I think that, and ironically, this is like a weird 6 degrees of separation type thing. I feel like Morgan, Paula Patton's character in this film, is the same character she played as Allison in About Last Night.
And about last night. Yep.
Like,
Mhm.
even though it was a small role, like it was the same character, like that
Yeah.
same, like like that ditzy,
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
stereotypically beautiful person. But with who got on your nerves more? Who did you dislike more, character wise? Paula Patton's character in this film or Joy Bryant's character in Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins?
Two very different villains.
Yeah. Both equally annoying though. For different reasons, but they both annoyed me.
Yes. Facts. I'm going Joy.
I have to say Paula Patton.
I'm going Paula, man. I did not like I understood Joy a little bit more, Paula
Right.
Patton was just a no. Like, bro, like, how do you?
Although I some for whatever reason I don't like Joy Bryant. I don't know why I don't like her, but she plays her typecast roles well.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's why I
Paula
think she would have killed it.
Patton does not play her typecast, maybe self roles well. She just doesn't, which
Yeah.
maybe why she isn't. But yeah, I'll have to go Paula there.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on that. Moving on from her, we have James Pickens Jr. James Pickens Jr. as Lloyd Wright.
Keith
Um,
Webber,
yeah, Leslie's father.
Yeah.
Felicia Rashad as Ella McKnight,
Queen.
Legend.
absolute legend. Without saying, Pam Grier as Janice Wright.
Legend.
Never thought I could dislike Pam Grier. Didn't like her in this film, but that's because of her character, not
It's,
her.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
typical not black
the
mother
character herself was
trauma.
not like, yo.
That's how these mamas be.
Listen, we gonna talk about it. Appearances from Laz Alonso, Dwight Howard, Dwayne Wade, Rashard Lewis, Jalen Rose, Rajon Rondo, and Kenny Smith, all NBA or ex NBA, outside of Laz Alonso, who was in that opening scene.
And
So,
Makai Brooks.
oh
Mm.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, you're right.
I thought he would have a much bigger career after the game, but here he is.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little weird.
It is. He was
Um,
in the game, Glory Road, this, and then now that Tyler Perry movie, like Mary, also with Felicia Rashad. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, derailing. Go ahead.
nah, you good, you good. I wish Felicia Rashad had like I think she needed one more scene.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe two. She needed that scene where she sits him down. I know we kind of had it with the "Are you sure you
Engagement
want to
party.
do this? You just met her," but she
Mhm.
needed that like eye-opening scene to her son. Like I don't know, so whatever words of wisdom that she could have given. Like I just felt like she needed one more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
I
then Pam, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, and then Pam Grier, that character as the mom, like it was just so, like you said, Rachel, that's a real thing.
Yeah,
And I've never had to deal with that, obviously.
that's your
But
sister.
like that whole concept of you ain't gonna find a husband doing that, or you gonna find yourself a man tonight, or I wore these earrings when I met your father, and my grandmother wore them or my mother wore them when so on and so forth, and it was just kind of
Well, even the fact that she didn't even give them to her daughter, she gave them to Morgan. Like,
right.
Yeah.
and just like you said about Felicia Rashad needing that one more scene, Pam Grier did too, like a
Mhm.
redeeming scene, like
Absolutely.
to make us like her. Because, like you said, I wasn't feeling it.
No, absolutely. She definitely needed a redeeming scene.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know that excuse of like, I know you don't like flashy things. I know this ain't your style, so I'm gonna give him the come on, man, get out of here. And the
Daughter.
said you can't dislike Leslie. She just hit it with the high road. Like, you know what?
Mhm.
I'm gonna go get dressed. Like every single situation like that, she hit it with the high road. And she had that she carried that well, that look of I know I'm about to get the news. Like when Morgan came back, like and she went around the corner,
Mhm.
like I know that other foot's about to drop, but hopefully
Yeah.
not this time. So
And
man,
I
she
love the
did
fact
a
that
good job.
they let the father play that role, though, that reassuring Morgan ain't shit, you beautiful. Don't let her, you know what I mean? Like, that was just dope. So,
That's how it is.
yeah, everything the mom was supposed to be doing, Pops did. So, shout out to him.
That's how
Mm-hmm.
it is. If you have a hard mother and your father is around, a lot of times he is the softer, more cajoling figure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's
Without
how
question.
my
Without question.
family.
Mhm.
Um, you know what? I just thought about it. I did like Paula Patton in Deja Vu.
Very few lines.
I was trying to find her some flowers somewhere, man. And Ray just took her right
She did well.
with the couple lines she had.
Yeah, I mean it's a fucking Denzel Washington movie. Come on.
That's true. They wow. They as a matter of fact, now that you say that, I'm not going to derail too much, but they was out of pocket for casting her next to Denzel.
Come on.
Yeah, but did y'all believe Common as an NBA player? Did you
Mm,
have any issues with
No.
that? Is there because I didn't really put too much thought into it, but I don't know who. It was okay.
I was gonna say it wasn't the worst.
It wasn't the worst.
Yeah.
I'm a sports movie. Like if you're gonna do a sports movie, like some stuff just has to make sense.
Mhm.
And it wasn't terrible. I could
Yeah.
see it.
I like that they had the other real athletes in there,
Yeah,
Now,
absolutely.
so we could
okay,
see the highlights of real, true athleticism. I think he did cool for a Chicago nigga on the court.
yeah,
That's true.
He did cool.
I agree, and not to like jump into things that bother me, but it did bother me that they had an all-star game and they had enough athletes to put two to like split it up. They had all the real NBA athletes on his team and then bums on the other West. Like the West All-Stars was all bums. Like it was weird.
I didn't even pay attention to that.
I didn't see that. I thought it was a good mix. Now I'm gonna have to go look at
Yeah,
that.
all the West is all actors on his team. Rashad and Dwayne and Dwight
The
Howard. I'm
white,
like,
yeah, they
why
all
didn't you
split
mix it
it.
up?
I'm
Yeah,
with
I gotta check that out again. Dang, I had a question. I can't remember what it was. Um, let's roll into best scenes.
okay.
Ray, let's start with you. What you got?
Okay, well, I've already touched on the opening scene with Leslie and Alonso with him friend zoning her. So I'll leave that off because we've already touched on it.
Well, come on.
Um,
Oh, 1 second. Can I have my 2 cents in that?
oh yeah.
Um, that's whack to do the let's kick it all night. We can do this all night. Or um I see us with a lead. He said something with we in referring in
Yeah, it was
reference
a
to
lot of
kids.
we talk leading
Yeah,
on, talking
the
about
whole like there was
children.
nothing about that date from start to finish. Like even sometimes when they write those scenes in movies, there's
Mhm.
that hesitation or that weird look that the man gets or gives when he
Mhm.
first sees the date, but they kind of hit it off early.
Off
So
the
it just
bat.
didn't make sense that he friend zoned her at the end because they actually was on some cool. And I know the whole point of it was to show this is what Leslie goes through.
Yeah.
But bruh, fellas out there, man, listen, if you ain't rock with a woman, man, get the check and bounce, man. Have a good night and all that. You ain't got to talk about dessert wine and feeding tiramisu. We can do this all night. Like you ain't got to do all that.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah, that was
It
kind of crazy.
happens.
Yeah, that
It
was a little.
happens. These niggas are weird.
That was just my 2 cents on that. What scene were you about to roll with, Rachel?
Okay. I'm gonna say Scott's first time at Leslie's house, when he comes to check out Morgan, like, oh, you actually live here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like that because even though we knew that it was Leslie's house, like you really see that she is a woman that's about her business on her way to work, on her grind while Morgan ass is in the bed at probably fucking noon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we see her father setting up and just the initiative that he took to figure out where they left. And then we see her excitement, Leslie's excitement in seeing him. So even though she denied having feelings for him when Morgan first asked, when we talk about going to his birthday party, you see her sort of deflate when he asks for Morgan, and then, the look she shoots to her father, like, "See," you know what I'm saying? That's one of my favorite scenes because we see sort of what this is gonna be. Even though we knew that he liked Morgan when he met her at the party, that scene really solidified, like, "See, it's that bullshit."
Nah, it really did. Because he even name dropped her on some like Leslie about
Leslie knows
she know
me,
me.
Yep.
exactly.
I'm a gentleman. So he kind of discarded her after because they hit it off at that gas
They
station.
hit
Like,
it off at the gas station. You wouldn't have just tried to be her friend and invited her to your home if it wasn't something a little bit more
right.
than
And when he first saw her at the party, he told her she you look beautiful.
exactly. And then you
Um,
see fucking Morgan and you just dropped her.
right. Like ASAP did drop her. But I will say that Scott McKnight pulled a Darius. You can't just be rolling up to people's cribs, bro. I guess you can do that when you famous, or if you. I talk about it all the time. Like if if I was ever to get like famous, and like went to my old house and whoever living there, I'm sure they would just. Oh, if they knew who I was, they would open the door like, oh, such and such, because
Yeah.
it's a familiar thing. Like, but on real life, if that was no NBA player, just some regular dude, and he just showed up, oh, you do live here. Like, damn,
Right.
bro, what you owe?
Right.
Oh, that's very crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, that's wild. He pulled a Darius from Love Jones for y'all who didn't get the reference.
Yeah.
Money grants you many a privilege.
Facts. Money and status.
That's
Because
it.
anybody else that walks out the car unannounced talking about, oh, you do live here.
Hmm.
Like it's not going down like that. So I just had to shout that out. I always think I get a kick out of when people just do some nut
Show
shit.
up.
School, you got a scene you want to roll with?
Shit. I was going to say the scene where excuse me, the scene where Morgan, not Morgan, shit, Leslie and Scott meet.
The
At the,
gas
Okay.
station scene?
yeah, I thought it was very. It also bothers me that they set it up to seem like they might have some interest in each other. Like that scene, they were feeling each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we were just saying.
Yeah, if you don't know any better, you think that, well, shit, maybe they are gonna hit it off. I think I read that the best friend, so it was very tricky. But I do like that. Um, like I said, the scene, and I like the fact that she humanized him. Like, is that Joni Mitchell on your seat right there? Like, just he's a normal dude. I just play basketball.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
And I think that's something that he was probably drawn to from her because we get the idea, and I guess this goes back to me asking if y'all were cool with him being an NBA player. I'm cool with that. You ain't got to make him no 2-time MVP, future Hall of
yeah,
Famer. Like, chill out. But
They put a lot on it.
when you have somebody with that status, and as Morgan even alluded to it, like I'm probably the last girl that denied him since forever. Like I'm
Hmm.
sure he appreciated that sense of normalcy. Like if that was any other fan or a real diehard, they would have been. I guess we had some camera phones in 2010, but
yeah,
asking for autographs is doing the most. And it was on some like this is my homie from around the way. I grew up with him. Like it was that kind of interaction. That just goes more into like how cool Leslie was. That just familiar bond she had. That was also one of my favorite scenes. Two friends talking, really. And that's how she got the invite, you
yep,
know. She
Hmm.
didn't abuse it. I'm gonna go with the birthday party as well.
Yep.
Like just rolling right into it. It was just a good inside look of what something like that, Leslie would have never thought that she was about to be in that life.
right.
You know what I mean? And what was going to happen. So the fact that she's in it and it's not just on some throwaway, because I'm sure most people might have been like, yo, he might not even remember he invited me, but he went up to her, sought her out, like, Leslie, look good. Like, and then, like you said, Rachel, he said Morgan, and it was all over. And Morgan with that nut ass, the shelter just called me. Like, I don't know about y'all. I'm staying at the party. Like, go ahead to your fake shelter.
I didn't understand why she didn't stay at the party, especially because it's already established he wants her. He wants you, so at least I can stay here and bag something.
Right. I don't know why she didn't stay. And I understood why Leslie left because that's who Leslie is. She's just a good person. But nah, you got a cab. Ubers wasn't around back then, but cabs are definitely around. Y'all in New York, New Jersey, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you have
Girl
stayed,
code.
Rachel?
Probably not.
You wouldn't have stayed at the party?
It's my god sister. I know whether I have a little crush on him or not. I know that she has the intention to try to bag him.
Mm.
I've taken my hands off of the wheel by saying when she asked me, "Do you like him?" I said no. I
Mm-hmm.
Eight ball.
know that you're trying to bag. I gotta play along. All right. He know that you live with me. The
Definitely.
assumption is that we came together. The rule is we come together, we leave together most of the time.
Facts.
Mhm.
So,
Facts.
so
That's good
yeah,
for
I would have left with an attitude, but I would have left. I would have definitely taken that shot though. I
But
wouldn't have left that on the table. I would have taken that free
but
shot.
Morgan already showed what type of friend she was earlier when she dissed Leslie at the first game, right?
Yeah, but they ain't the same.
True.
Yeah, that's not who Leslie is.
Morgan wouldn't have left
Yeah.
if Leslie was on some let's go shit.
Yeah.
She would have stayed. But if I'm Leslie, yeah, I'm rolling.
Morgan wouldn't even played along. She would have been like, what? Shelter? What?
What?
You don't volunteer.
Exactly.
Yeah, she'd have been
Exactly.
on some of that shit. Ray, you got any other scenes you want to shout out?
Oh yeah, of course. So we already just said the engagement all-star party or all-star announcement turned into engagement party. After Scott gets hurt, Morgan meeting Leslie and Paul out to lunch. She's calling this nigga Peter
Peter.
Patrick with these gifts. I love how she is just out spending this injured man's money.
Mm.
Like, Lord.
And justifying it too.
Man.
because you don't want to hang out. Like she is so unserious.
Yeah.
Yeah, she don't take that serious. Like, yeah, this is endless bread.
um, I like that just because it gives us another glimpse into who and how Morgan operates and what her MO is. Because as soon as this nigga was down, like she's
Mm-hmm.
off it. And after I'll just lead into my next favorite scene is when Leslie actually goes to the house to confront Morgan about leaving that Dear John letter, left a note in the hallway. I'm not opposed to leaving a nigga a note or a letter saying, you know what, this isn't for me. But to do it while your god sister's in the next room sleep, employed by this man, and not have given her an iota of a heads up is nasty work.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Nasty.
Super nasty.
like you're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, yeah, I'll let you go, but those are two of my favorites.
I was just gonna say, not only like not say a word, but really had no like remorse about it. Like,
No,
don't
no
care
qualms
about it.
about it.
Like, just whatever. Like, not everybody can be Saint Leslie Wright. Like,
Crazy.
bro, like that was some like engagement or not. Like, don't do that.
In Leslie's house.
Yeah, this should have been PG-13, so she could have gave her one of them bringing down the house ass whoopings.
Or at least a good cuss out. Like,
Yeah,
bitch, are you fucking crazy?
Yeah,
yeah, that was
she
At
needed.
least a good cuss out.
yeah, and that's why one of my favorite scenes is when Morgan was in there line talking about I've changed. I really love this man. I want to have his babies. I want to be engaged. Yeah. Mm-mm.
All of that. Pause school to what you said when she was having that discussion with Leslie at Leslie's house. She said, I was really starting to like him.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you just man. Yep.
What?
Nasty work.
Nasty
Nasty work.
work.
She
Nasty
talking about the
work.
nursery. Are you pregnant? You just met him. Like, nah, we gonna start a family soon.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
yeah, man. And I love the ain't nothing like shade from a black mama. Like, I love when Morgan got up, like, Mom, we're gonna be a family. And she gave that look like, I don't know you. Yeah, who gonna be a family? And Scott ain't had no real ones around him.
Mm-mm.
And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you ain't no grown man and you can't do what you want to do. But I feel like everybody knows, everybody's been in a situation. I don't care if you man or woman, where you've seen somebody that you're close to in a situation that might not be the best for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. And it ain't even about telling them like leave or not. It's just about having that real one-on-one. Is this what you want to do?
Yeah.
Is this, are you sure? Like, let me tell you what I see if you're asking. You don't have to force it on them, but at least like, yo, there's a little, I just want to make sure you straight, bro. Especially with all this bread, you get a new contract. Like, and she said yes without you even finish the question. Now, what if you were just asking her to, take her to Papa Do's or something?
Earrings.
You know what I'm saying? Then she looking stupid.
But
She earrings like and think like a man.
yeah.
Like, then you
But
looking dumb. But she was just too ready for it. I'm cool.
all Macabre Brooks' character was focused on was how she's beautiful, man. Like,
Bruh.
proud of you. And he was married, and the other best friend, the agent, was also married. So then there's that pressure too that men will deny, but is a real thing. Like, all the homies married,
Yeah, and married
all the
cats
homies got somebody, and
married
married
cats ain't
people.
really allowed to hang with single friends.
It's it's
How do
funny.
you guys do it?
We brothers. We
Bruh.
brothers. We do it. We could do it.
It's
Exactly.
funny that you bring that up because I had that in my notes. Is that part did not age well? Like he literally said, "Congratulations, bro. She's gorgeous," and that was the basis of his congratulations. Like she looks good, nigga. Good job. Like
Yeah.
what?
That's
Shit
That's
sad.
what that her whole character, like that was
that's
right at the
awesome.
I don't know, right when would you say was the rise of the housewives era and the love and hip hop era like that? When was the rise of that reality kind of push?
2009,
So, all
10,
right. So
right
it's
when
right
this is
around this.
coming out.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect
Mhm.
sense to me because I was wondering that. I'm like, when did this kind of start? Because that's who she's, I guess, portraying. I guess that's what
Emulating.
it was based off of.
Mhm. And
Yeah.
wanting to be that athlete's wife. You know, she already had the section Pete to a Science at their very first basketball game. Um,
Literally said, "This is my job." Like these women have brands. I'm about to be a brand.
Mm-mm-mm.
But
That
damn it,
shit
it
is
works.
crazy.
When you think about it, man, there's only 400. There's only 400 roster spots in the NBA. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? That's all. That means there's only about 1,000 women that can fill that. You
And every salary is not created equally. So you can be a wife all you want, but if they just getting not even veteran minimum.
Yeah, man. You get. Never mind. Let me stop. I ain't about to say it.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if I have any other scenes that I necessarily had written down. Rachel, keep going with yours.
Okay, sure. Yep. I have Leslie explaining the story of Eleanor and her dimple. I thought that that was really endearing because we're seeing, once she and Scott have the whole Rucker scene, that's one of my favorite scenes too, because you've pulled this man out of his funk. Um, and you see him start to trust her again, and you're starting to see the breadcrumbs of what could be their relationship starting to formulate. And just sort of as a daddy and grandfather's girl, I love the story. When Leslie is sick and we see Scott taking care of her, that whole um why are you sick? It's them playing cards. It's the intimate moments that they are sharing that go beyond what you're paying me to do.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the development of their relationship and potential romance. Oh, look at you. Oh, we both can take care of each other. Oh, she's not dependent on him for anything. She didn't even need this little funky job. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. Real. That's
so
real.
it's just a mutually beneficial relationship that we're seeing, and they really, really do enjoy each other. I said them playing cards, but it reminded me when Dwight Howard comes to visit her, when Leslie first comes to the house, and Felicia Rashad's character says, "Oh, you play bid whist? Black mamas love bid whist."
Mhm.
So I thought that that was really, really good. The piano scene, because music is a thing for me. Like, add that to the five love languages. If you can play,
Mm-hmm.
hello somebody.
Right.
Um, so I love that just because of what music is. And then Leslie and Scott's date, just because one again, live music and the care he took into planning that, or whoever planned it, to be something that was meaningful for the both
Mhm.
of them, and how
Yeah.
happy she was to wake up next to him
Right.
in the bed without him. But you get my drift.
Nah, that's real. I think the reason he wasn't in there is because of the PG rating, probably. I'm sure they have limits and like stuff that only certain amount of times you can have two people sharing a bed if you have a PG rating.
Yeah, that is
Um,
so interesting. Now I'm mad that it's a PG movie.
yeah, I
Not that
wish
I
it was
needed
13.
raunch, but
Yeah, I wish it was 13. But no, I love all of those scenes that you just mentioned as far as like or I guess what I love about them is the natural chemistry.
mhm,
You know what I mean? Like nothing was
mhm,
forced. And those are always the best relationships when you're not even really looking for it or aiming for it. You just kind of going with the flow. And then you just find out, oh, I really do like this person. I care about
yeah,
this person. Not on some, I'm trying to be with them. Like I genuinely care about this person.
mhm,
I want
mhm,
the best for them. And I enjoy how they make me feel. And
yeah,
just seeing that evolve and that grow and them, both realizing it. I think it was probably the piano room scene when
Mm-hmm.
he leaned over and they had that look.
mhm.
Side note, was the piano room the secret room?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay. All right.
yes.
I thought I was tripping. I'm like, did they ever go back and talk about that? So, all right, cool.
Yes, she closed the door when Morgan moved her ass back in the house.
Yeah, which is, I don't, School, how you feel about that? Did you see that coming? Like, as far as him taking her back? I mean, it's cliche, so you know it's coming, but I know you mentioned earlier you were just kind of surprised by it.
Mm, yeah.
Really?
I
Yeah.
just think they really had a strong chemistry to the
Yeah.
point where, and it's fresh off of like, I just knocked your god sister off
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
last night.
Yep.
She got a glow to her because she got a glow to her because
Oh, that's why
that
she
just
glowing.
happened 12 years ago or 12 hours ago or
Child.
whatever it
Not
was.
even.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Not even that. Like I'm still in
Mhm.
the road, which is an awkward moment. Just
It's
like
PG. They ain't want to address it.
well, I'm just talking about like you get a random knock on the door and it's your god sister, and I just finished sleeping with your ex fiance.
Fiance.
If they hadn't slept together, is she coming downstairs in her robe?
Probably.
I doubt it.
You don't think so? You think she coming
No,
dressed? You think she's coming
no,
fully dressed? Because that ain't
yeah,
her house.
because
You're
it's
right.
not your house.
And
So
you the
now there's
queen.
a certain level of comfort. So other than saying that we have a glow, m- me in my know it all self would have been like, well, what the fuck going on here? Because why are you so comfortable? What
Mm.
have I been missing in these last 8 weeks of being gone?
Do you think that goes to show that Morgan was so like there's no way he would ever pick her?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Man, they kicked it too strong. They had too good of a
Plus,
chemistry. Like,
plus,
go ahead, Stu.
Morgan believes that she knows um, Leslie, so she wouldn't even cross her mind that she would do anything like that to her because Leslie's a hell of a friend. We've already established that. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
sure.
You're right.
Mhm. Very good point. Very good
But
point.
she did.
So I guess since we're talking about that, how does y'all feel about when Scott is on Stuart Scott's show? Second movie with Stuart Scott. Shout out to him. R.I.P.
All right.
When he was on the show, and Morgan's the one that actually told Scott she's in Philadelphia. I know, like it's okay. I understand. Like, how do you feel about that?
I don't think that she peeped or thought anything untoward of their relationship literally until that moment, because from what we saw on screen, all of their discussions post being reunited is her talking about, oh, can we still get the plaza? Like, it's very still self-involved. So I don't think, I know that they didn't have a conversation about him and Leslie kicking it beyond anything professional. But I think her seeing him say, seeing and hearing him talk about her, it was like, oh shit, she had the same aha moment Pam Grier had. Like, oh, wait a minute, what have I missed? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Um, Even though Morgan is a bad person, I think that she loved Leslie, and so I'm a bow out. I
I was
mean, let me
surprised at
just,
that scene.
I
I'm
wasn't.
surprised at not the scene itself. I'm surprised at her intervening. Normally those scenes go, "Hey, this ain't gonna work out," and then the girls left salty.
It's my god sister.
I think is that all right? That makes sense
If
because
it's a random bitch, hell no.
because normally most movies you see that woman just left and that's the last you see of her, and he go and get
Yeah.
his girl.
Right. Right.
So it's the fact that it was against everything her. I don't know if that was supposed to be redeeming for her. School. I know you
She would
mentioned
have
like
got
you
help.
wanted the mom to have some kind of redeeming scene.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was supposed to be redeeming for Morgan.
Mhm.
Because if you're gonna go there, go all the way in. At the end of the movie, let her get one of the teammates. Like go all the way in with it if you're gonna redeem her.
Yes.
But I just think that scene just showing, I'm like, I don't know if it'd have been that smooth, but I understand it why. Like I said, I don't want to dig too deep into Just Right because
Mhm.
Right.
I understand what it was trying to do.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wild, man. I don't know.
Mhm.
I also like just real quick, this is my last thing I wanted to say because in the last 20, 25 minutes of the film,
It was very good.
very good, all the way to the point of him going after, and I just love how
I love a chase.
sure, of course you do. Come see about me.
Period.
Uh, yeah, that's why you wouldn't mind the comment. Scott McKnight if he pulled up at your crib. Yeah, this is where you live.
Come see
Um,
about
I just love how comfortable Leslie was with herself
me. Yeah.
throughout the whole film.
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't waiting on anything. Like I got these opportunities out here. I'm about to see about them. Like I don't want to leave any stone unturned. Even the car, like even her whip, like so many people, whether it's real life or movies, would have been embarrassed about their car. Like she pulled up to that first scene and at the blind date, like, yo, you gonna help me with this? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like she just had everything going about. Like she was just dope.
Got it.
To the end of her knowing, and he said the perfect thing, like, I know that you still love me. I know that ain't fade away because you mad.
Oh,
And it could have been a thing, but she was like, you know what? He right. and she
Right.
took that offer. So I love the ending of the movie, and I just always get super weak when they call that one therapist the miracle worker, man. They call that woman the miracle worker.
Some women have gaydar. I got hodar.
Hey man, because everybody kept saying it, and she was definitely giving them vibes off.
Come on,
Yeah.
because why you ain't got on no like yoga pants? Why you with these fucking coochie cutters?
Yeah, she
He's
was
climbing all up, and he cool with it, man. Hey, we be so,
Because men are stupid.
bro.
Oh my God.
We be so blind to what's
Oblivious.
going on.
Yes, we do.
We be in our own little world, like, oh, this woman climbing all over top. What's up, baby? You good?
He would.
Order.
Oh snap, man! He had no care in the world. Like, oh, my knee hurt. What you want me to do? That's what he would have said too. What? She just fixing my knee. The miracle worker.
Right. Oh, just a quick pause. Also, the scene where Leslie is getting all of those calls, and even when she's having the dialogue with her mother about taking the other offers, like, you're gonna leave your beloved nets.
Right.
I like that because yes, girl, sometimes you have got to fucking leave. Hello.
Oh.
So I love this fucking movie.
Yeah, man. Comfort zone's a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? So, you have anybody have any best quotes?
Sure, I'll go.
Yeah,
I'm a Jersey girl.
This ain't really a quotable movie for me, but
It's,
go ahead.
it's not super quotable. And this is also a random thing, just because I love how hard Queen Latifah goes for Jersey, just in general.
Yes.
I love that.
Straight up. Gotta rep your city.
Mm-hmm.
You are not supposed to show him your regular self until you've been married 5 years. I know a lot of women who abide by something to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
So it was relatable content for some. I heard about them secret rooms, side eye, especially in fucking Hollywood. I've already said some women have gaydar. I have hodar. Again, relatable. Water, that's for rich people. All I got is guts when she was training him.
Straight up.
And probably my last favorite. You better be packing something in your wallet. I'm not one of them salad eating chicks. I thought that was funny as fuck.
Kept
and
it
then
real,
that
man.
food part, I just
Like
wanted to say that was my last
like
one.
I said, she knew who she was.
She knew who she was. She was comfortable.
Was
I thought you'd be eating Mediterranean food, olives.
School, what about you?
I don't have anything.
It was hard for quote. It was really hard for quotes. I only have one, and the only reason I wrote it down because I it's just funny to me. Unintentionally funny. Is this part of your job? Just stick to your job. I don't know why that's just unintentionally funny because Common was really going for it. He was really going for that scene.
He was trying so hard.
He was trying
so hard.
But for some reason that gives me weak.
We already established Queen was queening. You hear me? So at some point you got to go for it if you Common. Like, yo, I got to go for it.
Yeah. Queen was on one. She was definitely on one. Scene Stealer, School.
Dad, Pops.
James Pickens Jr.'s. That's my scene stealing. Felicia Rashad would have got it if she had that extra scene I was talking about. Yeah. Shout out to the dude that played Paul.
Okay.
Shout out to Peter or Patrick, whatever his name was. Shout out to him. So that's my scene stealer. Like I said, James Pickens Jr. Ray, who you got?
I would probably have to go Pops too. But I might go opposite and go Pam Grier.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a mean black mom. Duh. Relatable content.
I swear it took me a couple scenes to realize that wasn't Sally Richardson. I swear on everything. Like I was
I could see how you would say that.
Yeah, it took me a quick little second. I don't know if I'm tripping, but
yeah, that's Pam Grier, brother.
Yeah, I know that, but for some reason I thought Sally Richardson my first thought, and then I was like, oh snap, that's Pam Grier.
I could see how you got there. Also, sidebar, I thought that Pam Grier as her mother was brilliant casting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Other than her actual mother playing her mother, like on Living Single. Shout out to my shirt. That would have been perfect.
Yeah. Shout out to all the good casting directors. I love a
Yeah.
good casting department. The
Yes.
show and movie gets the cast right, top tier. Shout
Yeah.
out to all y'all. Things that bother you. School, you want to start?
Yeah, I will start. The first thing that bothers me was the very first game they went to. Were they sitting in the Orlando section?
I
I
think
don't
they
know. It
was
was a home game. It's just kind of that's just kind of how it happens.
Like goodness, all right, yeah, man. And I'm gonna go again. Another one thing that bothered me is when he got hurt, bro. That the dramatic was on 100, bro. Like Kenny the Jet was. Oh, when you get hurt like that, that's almost career-ending injury, man. Like,
it
come
is, isn't it
on,
not?
man.
I mean, for real, your PCL, which is, I guess that rolls into.
He
Did
didn't
you have any
know
more?
that at the moment. Nobody knew what he just fell.
Yeah, you're right. You're
he,
right.
they was
But you
playing.
But
can
then
see.
he
But
knew it
listen,
was
I
a
will say this.
knee.
I will say this. I've been on the court, or I've been on the field for many of injuries, and like when it's something bad, like, and I've seen people have that gut wrenching, like agony. One of them, if you ever, the perfect highlight, and I don't recommend anybody watching it because it's nasty, but the after effect when Lawrence Taylor broke Joe Theismann's leg,
Ooh,
like as soon as he did it, the way he looked over to their bench and said, "Come, like this
yeah,
man need help."
yeah, come help.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You got anything else?
Nah, that's it.
Um, Mine was just getting hurt in an All-Star game. Like everybody knows that's the most
Yeah,
like
no
half-assed. We're
taking it.
not trying. Nobody gets hurt in an All-Star game. The only person I know was Kobe. He got elbowed by Dwayne Wade like in 2013 or something,
Yeah,
um, and broke his nose. But other than that, that's because that's Kobe, and
yeah.
he
Yeah.
goes hard at any time. But nobody really gets hurt in an All-Star game, and you can't come back from. I don't care who you are. You ain't coming back from no PCL injury in 3 months. I'm sorry.
Nah,
Yeah.
nah.
It's just not happening. I know it's some movie stuff. I'm not gonna beat it up over that, but he should have got hurt in that first scene. I know you can't because the story doesn't build the same, but for timeline purposes, my man, you not coming back. It is what it is. And you come back just for a game 7. Very, very nitpickish. Very, very nitpickish. I'll admit
Okay.
it. But that's just the sports side of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the sports side of me. Ray P, what you got?
My biggest pet peeve is Leslie Wright's fucking wardrobe.
Because it's 2010 or even in 2010.
Even in 2010, like, what the fuck was she wearing this whole movie? I hated everything except for except for what she wore to the game, to any of the basketball games. She just got on some jeans and a jersey.
Okay,
Standard. That's cool. That's
Mhm.
regular.
got
She
it.
looked nice for her date with Laz Alonso. She looked nice to go to the engagement party and his birthday party. But beyond that, I don't know what the fuck they had my good sis on. When she was in the Rucker, she had on a jean, a black jean, a peasant top with a jean jacket and some tennis shoes. It's in the rain. You going to the park. Why they couldn't have her in just a Adidas outfit or a Nike jumpsuit? Like, what the fuck are you wearing? And I know that in 2010 it was a lot of layering, but they had her looking stupid as fuck, and it really pissed me off. In every scene, I was mad. And I know sometimes it's quote unquote hard to dress a big body Benz, but not when you Queen Latifah.
That's a fact.
That's a super fact because I was gonna say even for how poorly they dressed her, she was
Super good.
looking good,
Mhm.
like
Come
looking
on.
like butter.
Come on. Come
Man,
on.
she looked. That was another reason. And I know once again, the theme is the stereotypical woman. Like I think she even said the woman that's supposed to have a man like that. But Queen Latifah, who turning her down? Like,
Come on.
come
Right.
on, man. Like, what's
Men
up?
and women alike. Nobody.
First scene, yeah, we can do this all night. You right, yeah. Like you can leave your car here.
Period. Period.
Straight up. Like
Yeah.
what we doing?
I just
Um,
hate how they had her dressed. It really worked my nerves. And I say that every time I watch it because what the fuck does she have on?
oh snap.
It-
Um, Cultural moments. I just had the bid with scene because, like you said, that's just black people don't play about cards. Just the
yeah.
whole interaction. You know what I'm saying? 6-time neighborhood champion. Like, what you saying? Like, anything with competition with cars, like it is what it is.
Yeah.
Any actors from The Wire? Nope. Wouldn't let that happen to me. I don't think I had anything. Anybody have anything for this?
I didn't really have any wouldn't let that happen to me though, seeing.
Yeah. Everything that happened was kind of out of control.
Yeah.
Like,
I do wanna bounce back to culture. Being at the Rucker, that's a
Yeah.
world-renowned part,
hell yeah.
Jersey,
Yeah. Facts. Definitely, definitely. Very good point. I'm glad you added that in.
Yeah.
School, you got any trivia for us?
No, I do not.
This
Who
is
don't have shit for Just Right. You hear me?
I will say this was out of all the films we've done, this is probably the most like there's not much information out here about Just Right. I even watched an episode of or some YouTube clips, should I say, of when Queen Latifah had her show, when Common was on
Mhm.
there, just to kind of get a little bit more info. There just wasn't a ton. The only
Yeah.
thing that I have is in the original film, there was a courtside shot of Amber Rose and Kanye that
Oh.
was in the film, but they took it out because the Taylor Swift thing happened.
Oh, wow.
Mm,
Kanye was just on one, so they just took it out of the movie because it was released and he had that moment, so they cut it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that's the only trivia I really had. There's really nothing else too much out there about it.
Yeah.
I guess lastly, just to wrap things up, we always end it with too high, too low, just right. So the average watcher or viewer, should I say, rates this a 5.9 out of 10. Too high, too low, just right. Right? What you got?
I'm trying to decide if my answer is just because of how much I love this movie, what it means to me. If I was just an objective watcher, if it didn't hold any nostalgic significance to me. They said a 5.1 or
5.9 out of 10.
5.9. I have to say that that's too low. It's still I'm gonna give it a 7.
Oh,
Hmm.
I love this fucking
people
movie.
love this movie.
I love this movie.
People love this movie. 7. Okay, then school. What you got?
I say it's Just Right.
Hey, look at this guy.
Hey,
Big pun.
5.9 sounds good to me.
I'll give it a 6, just because.
Nigga, that is a 6. 5.9 is a 6.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing. I'm just rounding it up. I'll give it a 6, just because Queen Latifah, she earned every bit of that 6.
Yeah.
Everybody else kind of contributed here and there. Like I said, Felicia Rashad, Jane Pickens Jr. They had Pam Grier, all of them, but Paula Patton, not a big fan of. Common, give them some grace, but I think you said it earlier, Rachel. I don't even know if it's a top 5, 10 Queen Latifah movie, and that's the thing about it. It's not that it's bad. It's not a bad movie by any means. It's just more. There's a lot more things with these people in it that I
Yeah.
probably rather watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to, or more rom-coms that I probably watch
Mhm.
before I turn this on. But you know,
I watch Just Right every time it's on. Like if it's on one of the channels.
and we all have a movie like that. I'm sure I have a movie where like you two would be like, you enjoy that, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sure Finding Forrester or something like that. Like I'm watching it every single time it's on, and I'm no school's like, I'm about to play this 2K.
Yeah, straight up.
Oh wow, I haven't seen that movie in years.
So yeah, so Just Right, fun movie. It was good to be like reintroduced to it because, like I said, I watched it on bootleg once and
That's
just never kind of revisit it
crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
because I'm going to watch. Oh, let me ask you this, and we'll wrap this up. I remember I forgot what I was going to say earlier. It just came back to me. Did you need this to be a sports movie?
No,
Mm-mm.
Okay.
no.
I wonder if the sports mumbled it up a little bit. I wonder if I view this movie different if there was no sports.
I would have to think about what other capacity could she have assisted him in, if not
Right.
as a physical trainer. Maybe you needed a paralegal or another lawyer.
Maybe we saw that in Daddy's Little Girls.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and
I
it
guess
came
you
out
do
around
need
the same
a. It's a little
or
bit of
another
difference.
doctor. I don't know, something else.
Mm, yeah, you're right.
It need to be a sports movie.
Yeah. Okay. School.
I
Did you
think
think
that
any?
was supposed to be like the fun aspect, and we know how much Queen Latifah loves basketball.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
that's very true. And it was cool. You got real players in it. Like it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense, man. Shout out to Eddie. Um, with that being said, it was really fun recording with y'all again.
Man,
Week off. That
love
week
this.
off.
I love it.
As
Yeah,
always.
absolutely. Absolutely. What y'all think about? Well, we'll talk about it off screen. I got an idea, but we'll talk about it off screen. We'll be back next week with another episode. This is School's pick
Ooh.
next week.
Y'all be ready.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Definitely one that I'm a fan of, but hope y'all enjoyed this episode. I would have never, if I had to make a bet on the over-under, it would not have been an hour and 5 minutes on Just Right. But here we are. Appreciate y'all tuning in with us, watching,
You're
viewing.
welcome.
Remember to like, listen, subscribe, share, comment, all of it. DM us, whatever.
All
Go Heels. Y'all be cool. Y'all be cool.
Peace.
Peace out. And cut, guys.